Hi my darlings, I'm Sophie Darling and welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to episode 29 of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and last episode Ling has consumed Greed, but Greed has kind of taken over Ling's body. I hope we see Ling come back though, because I really like Ling, but I also like Greed. I feel like there'll be a really fun dynamic. Maybe there'll be like a Jackal and Hyde situation where they like switch in and out at random times, which would be kind of amusing. But Ling has become a homunculi in this pursuit of immortality to protect his people and protect his clan. It's wild that he would go to that extent, but then again, that's been his whole mission all along, is to retrieve a Philosopher's Stone. So what better way to retrieve a Philosopher's Stone than to have it become a core part of your being? But either way, we also know that Hohenheim is related to the father somehow. They are very alike, and he knows who Hohenheim is. So as to where that connection lies, I'm not entirely sure, but it is going to be very fascinating to see that explained. And Scar also ran away with May, so Scar is hopefully okay, and May is hopefully okay, but Xiao Mei got returned to May, so they have been reunited, so I'm happy that they get to be together once more. But the Elric brothers are now at the mercy of Envy and are being taken to Bradley. So as to how this is all going to play out, I don't know. We're not going to ramble. We're going to jump into it, and hopefully we'll get a bit more of an explanation as to what's going on. Oh, and Gluttony has been absorbed back into the father because he ran out of regenerative abilities. We're going up.
ここは軍司令部どういうこと？おい、
Wild.
お前ら汚いんだよ。ハムーンクラスのメジロが司令部の地下深くにあったなんて。大総統だけじゃなく軍自体も関係してたってことか。
Which Roy's already figured out.
悪い話ばかりでもないぞ。本当に僕の体が。
Yeah.
君は僕の魂じゃないから一緒に行けないって言われたけどな。よし。俺たちまた一歩目的に近づいたってわけだ。
I wonder how.
おい、なぜその白黒猫がいる？
Xiao Mei didn't go with me.
ここに。
Oh wait! I thought Scar took me. Xiao Mei's like, I'm just a girl. I don't want to see this. I thought Scar had taken her. So where's Scar gone then? I know Scar said he didn't intend to go up, but I thought he'd changed his mind.
ラス、大総統キングブラッドレー。
Yeah.
大佐、何があった？
ホークアイ注意は大総統好き補佐だそうだ。
なんだそりゃ。手のいい人質じゃねえか。
That's the point. Keep Roy in line.
今この部屋には俺たちと大総統だけ。武器は剣一本のみ。
それでも勝てる自信があるというのか。
God, this is tense. It was me. I don't have a small child inside of me.
まんまと騙されました。
君たちは我々にとって貴重な人材だ。余計なことは知らんでいい。ただ、時が来るまでおとなしくしていろ。そうすれば悪いようにはせん。
But harm will come to other people.
俺たち人柱と呼ばれる者以外の一般人はどうなるんですか？元の体に戻るために軍の犬になる道を選んだ。だが、国家錬金術師制度自体がおそらく人柱とやらを選ぶためのもの。
Oh my god, is it?
俺は国家錬金術師をやめる。
Oh, it would make so much sense.
血にまみれておるわ。
Because every state alchemist is seen as a sacrifice.
他の術師たちに揺らして、そして。
なんと言ったかな、あの娘。
Oh, he's gonna threaten Winry.
ウィンディ・ロックベル。
They're not gonna want to put her in harm's way. You bastard.
働き客にも仲間にも恵まれている。 素直ないい子だ。
あいつに手を出すな。周りの人たちにもだ。
で、どうするね。
They estate
Even
alchemist
to you,
or
Nara.
have Winry
切って捨
killed.
てるが。
You prick.
よろしい。
それで今まで通りそちらの監視官にいる代わりに元の体に戻る旅を、僕らの旅を続けさせてください。
構わんよ。余計なことさえしなければね。マスタング大佐はどうする。まさか軍を辞めるなどと言い出さんだろうな。
No, because his whole goal
そうです
is
ね。
to take you
飼い
down,
犬になって
so...
も負け犬になるのは耐えられませんな。何より私の野望のために軍服を脱ぐこともこれを捨てることも今はできそうにありません。
Until he takes you down. This is so fucked.
ヒューズを殺したのはあなたですか。
No.
いや、私では
Will
ない。
he tell them who it
では誰が？
was?
一つという約束だ。
No. Oh, you bastard!
なあ、待ちたまえ、アルフォンス君。
何か。
いや、言ってよろしい。
Oh, you prick! Poor May.
危なかった。頭の上を。
ねえ、小銭貸してくれ。
なんだいきなり。
いいから。しけてやがんな。
チンピラか君は。
まあいいや。じゃあな。
ごめん大佐、後でいろいろ報告する。
Poor May. She's in the leg like, help!
ちょい。
いかがなされました大佐。顔色が悪いですぞ。
女性との待ち合わせ場所に筋肉ヒゲだるまが立ってて血色良くなる男がいるか。
大佐、ホークアイ注意。ただいまお手洗いから戻りました。アームストロング少佐のご好意に甘え、少しの間交代を。ありがとうございました、少佐。
I love Armstrong. If anything happens to Armstrong, I'm gonna
何があ
riot.
っても諦めるなと言ったのはどこのどなたですか？
They're gonna find a way to bring him down from the
後で逃
inside.
げた方がマシだったなんて言う
They'll
なよ。
comply for now.
注意。
何を今更。
エド、どうしたの急に。
Because he wants to make sure that she's safe and okay.
無事か。元気にしてるか。
Oh.
どうないか。怪しいやつにつけられたりとかしてないか。
気色悪い。だってエドが電話してくること自体珍しいのに、おまけに人
But
の
she's realized that she loves him, so... Look at the way she's like twiddling the phone wire.
ありがとう。
Oh!
本当に大丈夫なんだな。
Oh, they're so cute!
こういう必死さがつけ込まれる好きになるんだよな。
Fuck's sake!
グリードだっつーの。
Where's Ling?
何の用だ。
お前のダチに頼まれた。
真の言葉か。なんて書いてあるんだ。
知らん、嫁。こいつを待ってる女に渡してくれとよ。俺は嘘をつかねえのを心情にしている。じゃあな、頼んだぞ。
This new dynamic
おい、リン。
is really fun. It's great! Ugh. So he's still in the sewer then. I thought he made a break for it.
この国を疲弊させてまで内乱を起こす必要がなぜあった。誰だ。誰かそこにいるの。
Marco!
それに私は医者だ。君の怪我も見よう。イシュバール人か。その額の傷。まさかお前がすか。貴様は何者だ。ここで何
He's
を
the
して
state alchemist, so he's like, ah, shit!
神よ。私もイシュバール殲滅に加担した錬金術師だ。
He's gonna beg for forgiveness, isn't he? Maybe this will be the turning point for Scar in realizing that so many that were in part of it have regret for what was done.
アルフォンス。
He's like, I'm two girls!
若は一緒じゃないのか。賢者の石を手に入れたと。これで我が一族が。そうだ、一刻も早く国に帰って 皆にこのことを知らせねば。
But he's not Ling at the moment. He's still Greed. Unless he's just very good at acting and is pretending to be Greed.
体の調子はどうだグリード。
あんたがラスか。調子はいいぜ。皇帝になる力を手に入れたくて、自ら俺を受け入れやがった。
誠の王とは何ぞやと、その王子に問答したことがある。王は民のためにあるもの。バカめ。欲をかいて全て失った
He's
では
not
ない
lost
か。
everything.
やかましい。人間をなめるな。
つうわけよ。こいつ、好きあらば俺を乗っ取ろうと。
I knew it! It's gonna be like a Jackal Hyde situation.
どこまでも強欲な人間よ。
我が輩はこの国の弱き人民のために戦いたいと思っていました。
軍をやめてはどうだ。
The military is being used to inflict harm upon others, and it's not what they signed up for.
こんな戦いを間違っています閣下。
Oh.
軍令に背く気か。もうよい。代わりの国家錬金術師を呼べ。イシュバールで
Armstrong.
我が輩は戦いから逃げました。軍のやり方は間違っている。そう思いながら。ですが、
Oh.
その間違っているものとこそ戦うべきだった。
But this is what I mean, that Scar's gonna have to come to the understanding that not all state alchemists wanted what happened in Ishvale.
我が輩一人、どうして尻尾を巻いて逃げられましょうか。
大総統には野望があるからまだやめんと言ってやった。
And he
大
means
総
it.
統が自らホムンクルスであることを私に明かしたということは、自分を倒したとしてもまだ後ろがいると暗示したということだ。ただラストとかいうホムンクルスと戦った時もそうだったが、兵器だ化け物だと言われる自分が本物の化け物と戦っている時にこそ、己がただの人間であることを実感できるよ。
ごめん。僕たちが止めていれば。
It's what he
謝る
wanted,
必要
though.
はない。護衛の役目を果たせなかった自分に腹が立っているのだ。アルフォンス、腕が欲しい。今すぐに。
そんな、すぐだって。
オートメール技師を紹介してくれ。頼む。
Are they gonna take her to Rush Valley? Because I imagine if you're gonna get her an engineer, it's going to be Winry.
メイ。
Oh! They're from different clans.
何？
さすがヤオ家の番犬。
そういうお前はちゃんの後継。
いかにも第17王
They're siblings! They're both here for the same reason, the sake of their clan.
ちょっと待ってよ。なんだか知らないけど、喧嘩はやめてって。
人の国の事情に口を出すな。
手負いだからといって舐めるなよ。
そのセリフ。
Jesus
そのまま
Christ.
お
Look at Charmaine!
何やっとんじゃこら。病人はおとなしく寝てろ。
人の国の事情に。
てめえの国の事情は死んだバカ野郎。
You're in my house.
これ以上うちを散らかしてくれるってのか。おお、医者の家から未知の病原菌が出て全員死亡。あるよな。
I love how they went from fighting to clinging on to each other.
本当に散らかり放題だ。誰か片付けてくれる人はいないのかな。
No, didn't he say his wife had
先
left
生、
him?
これ。
ん？別れた女房と息子だ。なんだよ、俺のものをどうしようが俺の勝手だろうが。片付けたらコーヒーでも飲んでけ。
He says that as if the mugs that were likely his wife's weren't immaculately kept, and that the only thing that's not a mess, he clearly does still miss his wife and son.
実は午前中、近場の錬金術師に復旧を手伝ってもらったんですが、そいつらの使えないことときたらもう。
いざ始めたら術が使えないってな。
Oh.
俺たちが地下にいた頃か。
錬金術師さん。
So it wasn't just them, it impacted all alchemists.
あれが肉体も精神もない。ただの
No, he
エネル
was
ギー体だ
lying.
って。他の術師たちも錬金術が使えなくなっていた。
It's like it's been
あの
bestowed.
豆女とスカーは使うことができた。俺たちのとは違う錬金術。
Which is
その
what I
秘密を
said.
聞き出せば、あるいは賢者の石を使わなくても、アルの体を取り戻し、あのヒゲ野郎に対抗することが。
私は奴らに協力させられてきた。賢者の石を作り、多くのイシュバール人の命を奪った。だから頼む、私を殺してくれ。
He wants to die, but I don't think Scar's going
死
to.
をもって奴らに一心報いる。私には君が
Maybe he will grant him what he's asking.
まだイシュバールの話を全て聞いていないぞ。
Oh my god, are we gonna hear the whole story?
全て話せマルコ。この右手が貴様を破壊するうちに。
Oh my god, are we finally gonna get the full story? We are. Oh, that's so exciting. They're about to make me work with them in experiments that are likely to cause many more casualties. What experiments? Are they turning more people into homunculi? Like, homunculi? Homunculus? Homunculi is like the plural term, I think, but what the fuck is going on? Every time I think I understand where the show is going, I genuinely reach a moment where I'm like, I'm not actually sure what's happening. It's been happening quite often. Okay, so we now have it confirmed that Ling and Mei are technically half siblings, which I kind of presumed because I think it was something I said when we first kind of saw them. They both came across the desert. They both were searching for immortality. Could they be related to each other? So they are. She's the 17th princess. That's insane. So that's kind of cute. Got a little sister, but they're from different clans, so they don't like each other. But I love how they're able to be united in their fear of the Doctor. Ling is fighting for control and power from greed, which is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is just how realistic it is in terms of why people join the military. So many people join the military with hope and ambition to protect those that are the weakest in society. They want to serve and defend those who are in trouble. And most of the time, they then find themselves in conflicts where they are expected to commit atrocities that they never dreamed they'd ever be asked to do for the sake of the government. And Armstrong is really driving that home, that the reason he joined the military was not to harm people, but to protect and defend. He didn't want to hurt those that were weaker than him, but he was forced to. And he ended up running away because he confronted them and was told off essentially for disobeying command, for speaking out, which goes to show that a lot of people complied out of fear. They didn't necessarily comply because they agreed with what was happening, but they felt that they didn't really have much of a choice. Again, it doesn't make what they do okay, but it's more just showing the socialization of authority and order. It's making you feel that you have no other choice. You have to obey command. And the thing is when you join the military, disobeying command is broken out of you very early on. That's why you go through training. You are expected to obey orders, to be loyal, which is again why the state alchemists are referred to as dogs of the military. Blind loyalty and allegiance. That's what state alchemists are picked for. So questioning and speaking out are not qualities that are really highly desired in soldiers. So it is beaten out of them. It is berated out of them. It doesn't mean that people don't speak out, but they are condemned for doing so. They are judged for doing so, as Armstrong was, and Armstrong left because he couldn't cope with what the military was doing. He couldn't participate in it. And I knew I loved Armstrong for a reason. He's a good guy. He didn't want to be involved. But now he's saying that he can't turn a blind eye. He has to fight back. He has to defend those that are going to be impacted by whatever Bradley and the rest of the military are attempting to do. Or at least those in the military that are complicit with Bradley, because we know it's the higher ups, but there are obviously people in the military that aren't aware of what's happening and would be horrified to know that this is what they're being forced to be involved in, the destruction of numerous people. So we are going to find out what happened in Ishvale. And I think I'm probably going to cry in the next episode. It's going to be really rough because we know that it was an ethnic cleansing. We know that it was orchestrated by Envy. Envy took the shape of a soldier that had been vehemently critical about their involvement in Ishvale and took that form to then shoot a small child, and it was played off as an accident, but it was not an accident. We know it wasn't, and that was the catalyst for their justification to completely wipe out the Ishvalans. And as a consequence of that, we see Scar, who wants revenge on all state alchemists. But I think his interaction with the Elric brothers and now with Marco, I think he'll maybe come to the realization that not everybody was aware of what they were expected to do, and a lot of them feel regret and guilt. We know that because we've seen so many state alchemists that have been hunted down. I don't know why I'm doing hunted down, but you get what I mean. They've been hunted down for rebelling against the military, but it's not so much rebelling as being aware that the military is rotten at its core. They're able to recognize that way before the rest of us do. And I think in episode 1, I highlighted that because I said, why was Isaac so against the military? And he keeps going, you don't know what this country is like, because he knew that something was wrong. Something wasn't right with the way in which the military was being operated and run and what he was forced to do in Ishvale. Ishval. I think it's Ishval. I've probably been saying it wrong. It's fine. State alchemists that left the military after they realized the truth were hunted down, were treated as traitors, were seen as dispensable, which is incredibly sad because they were trying to change the way that the military was being run. They were trying to make a difference by speaking out, and they were treated as if they were nothing more than scum. But this idea that Ed and Al weren't the only ones that weren't able to use alchemy very much feels like perhaps this was bestowed upon them by the father, that the father was the one that brought alchemy to the country, because it seems like he controls it. He can switch it on and off. And Envy says, you don't know the gift that you've been given. And then there was talk of a sage that went to the east and brought a different form of alchemy. I think it's either the same person or it's two different people. It's one went to the west and one went to the east. And whoever went to the west is possibly the father. And whoever went to the east most likely then brought a different variation of alchemy that was in direct opposition to the teachings of the sage of the west. I think initially I was like, they're the same person. But then I'm like, what if they're not the same person? What if they are two different people? What if they went in two different directions because their teachings were directly opposed to one another, which is why May is able to sense that something is wrong. She's able to sense that the father and the other homunculi aren't real people, and she does that off of like a sensation that ripples through her. But Ling and Lamfan, I'm probably butchering her name, they also were the same. But that's also how they knew that Bradley was a homunculi, because they were able to sense it. So it's like those from the East are able to recognize it, almost as if the teaching of their alchemy has led them to be able to spot artificial human. Because maybe the sage that brought their variation of alchemy to the East wanted to ensure that they could protect themselves from the sage in the West and the alchemy that he brought there, in case he attempted to weaponize the homunculi to wage war and destruction and devastation in the East. Maybe they feared that the West would rise up against them, so the alchemy that they taught to the East was designed to counteract this alchemy in the West. Because we also know that there's distinctive differences between them. The alchemy in the East is very focused on healing and medicine and helping people, whereas in the West it's become militarized, it's become a weapon, it's become something that is destructive. So it's like you have this balancing force of destruction and creation and how they sort of intersect. We know that alchemy can create and destroy, and that Armstrong also makes a mention that if there's destroyers, there also needs to be creators. And I think he was referring essentially to how alchemy can be used for that purpose too. But now I'm like, is that referencing the fact that the East have a different form of alchemy that could be then seen as creation, and the one in the West could be seen as destruction? And it's about balancing them. It's about ensuring that one doesn't outweigh the other, that one doesn't rise up and overpower the other, or that the sages were linked but went separate ways. So if the sage is the father, it could be the father, it could be someone that came before the father, but the father seems to have control over this alchemy, which makes it seem as if he was the one that brought it to the West. Then who brought it to the East? There must be another figure that we haven't seen yet. Initially, I was going to say, could it be Hohenheim? But I don't think it could be Hohenheim, because Hohenheim used alchemy because the books he had were what taught his son. So if it was a different form of alchemy, Ed and Al would know the alchemy from the East and not the alchemy from the West. So I think it has to be another figure that we potentially haven't met yet that could have brought it to the East in direct opposition to the father and how he weaponized alchemy, because they knew that one day they might have to rise up against them because it could destroy the world as they know it. Maybe. I could be overthinking things, but next episode I think is going to be a rough one, so I'm kind of psyching myself up for it because I'm probably going to cry. I just know that it's most likely going to make me tear up. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye!